Welcome to another episode of I Don't Know What I'm Doing, but I'm Doing It Anyway. We're starting a new project today. It's a project I've been thinking of for a few years, and we have just the opportunity to go ahead and do it. And let me show you what it is.
One of my guilty pleasures is watching American Ninja Warrior, and the first obstacle I remember seeing is that of the Salmon Ladder. And I've always thought that I always wanted to build one. So I've decided to go ahead and do that for me and for my kids to use and to learn. And so this is a diagram of what we're going to build. It's going to be built using two 4x4s that are 12 feet long. I'm going to drop them into the ground by 2 feet, which will make the whole salmon ladder about 10 feet tall. The first rung is going to be 6 feet so that I don't have to kneel. I'm going to put one rung a little bit lower so that I can do reverse push pull-ups using that rung. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend that salmon ladder to another obstacle, which is called a pegboard on one side. I'm also going to make a hanging board on the opposite side of this, and this is going to be done with a 12 by 2 that is 10 feet long, as you can see here. And the post I'm going to connect that to is going to be a 10-foot post, and so this is only going to be 8 feet off the ground.
So here's all the wood that I've gotten for this project, based on the diagrams I just showed you. I've got two 12 by 12 foot 4x4, one 10 foot 4x4, several 2x4s, 2x6, and a 2x12. I've got all the hardware in those sacks right there. All the posts are pressure treated. The 2x4s and the 2x6 and the 2x12 are not. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to be cutting these out. These are the rungs for the salmon ladder. There is a total of 4 rungs on either side, plus one rung that is down low so that you can do a low bar if you need to for either push-ups or reverse pull-ups. And as you can see what the dimensions are here. The rungs are going to sit on the salmon ladder at a 35-degree angle. It could be either 30 35 degree depending on your preference. I'm going 35 degree. So I've got the chop saw all ready to go. It's going to be cut out of this 2x4, which unfortunately I have a bad spot right in the middle that I'll have to just skip over. That knot is going to be very weak, and so I won't be using that. But out of this 2x4, and I've got another one just like it, I plan to do 10 of those rungs. You can see I've got my chop saw set at that 35 degrees. And I will start cutting from there. Okay, there we go. There's actually 11 rungs to cut. I was able to do that out of one of the boards, which means I have a whole nother board that I'm not going to be using. Maybe I'll cut another set to secure it. I'll see if I need it or not. Okay, the next step, we need to drill some holes in all of these pegs. And so what I'm going to do is, this is the hardware that we're going to be using. And so we've got a drill bit that's just slightly smaller than this screw. And then I'm going to also use this bolt to this washer to help secure it down just a little bit more. And so what I'm going to do so that the bolt doesn't stick out so far is we'll drill a hole for the bolt and then inset it a little bit with this drill bit right here, so that when we finally connect these up, it's not going to be sticking out so far. Okay, they're all drilled, half on one side, half on the other, with a little inset. And so the next step will be to connect them to the crossbars. We have our rungs all cut and ready to go. Now we're going to attach them to the posts. We've got two 12-foot pressurized posts, and I laid them down to get ready to work on this. I want to put them side by side to make sure I get the rungs right at the same place. And I've got a little bit of a problem. These are side by side, but you see that gap? And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And over here, see that twist? I've got this one board that, I don't know if it's just because it's been weathered or what, but it is wonky as can be. It's what I've got. I'll work with it. I've twisted it every way I can, and this is the closest I can get. Luckily, we won't actually have rungs on it until about right here, where it starts to flatten out a little bit. And as you get up, it'll be closer and closer and closer. Hopefully it won't be so wonky that it's unusable, but a little disappointed. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these rungs that we've already cut. We'll line them up with the edge. I'm going to drill out the hole on the other side. I've got some liquid nails that I'll put down, and after that we'll just tighten them in. Hopefully I can get it flat enough against this one wonky board that it will still be nice and strong. If not, I've got another set of 2x4s, and we can put another set of cleats on these. Restart. So we need to make sure here on the top brayer that we have 5 7/8 left open for that crossbar. We wouldn't want to peg near the very top where we'd end up smashing our fingers. So I have all the rungs on now. You can see the first ones are a little bit farther apart just because this board is so wonky, but they're even. I've inset the bolts so to give it just a little bit more strength, along with the washer to keep the wood from splitting. I also use some liquid nails underneath to solidify it. So this is what I'm going to be used for the top bar. This is an 8-foot long 2x6. I'm going to cut that in half to give me two 4-foot sections, one on the front, one on the back. There's the board cut in half. That's 4 feet, which means this inside is going to be 4 feet minus 8 inches, so 3 feet 4 inches, given for the 4 inches of each board. Minus another 1.5 inches on either side, so 3 more, which means that the actual width on the inside that you'll have to grip is about 3 feet 1 inch. So what I'm going to do is on each corner drill 2 holes, throw in 2 bolts, the exact same bolts I used on the rungs, and then I'll do the same on the other side. As a final touch, I've decided to put a chin-up bar at the very, very top of the salmon ladder. That way, when you get to these final 2 rungs, it has somewhere to go. The reason that I'm putting it on here and putting it on the back is that the plan is that at some point I want to continue the playground out with various other components, and this would be the transition to those other components. And here we are all done with this first part. That's the lowest rung. That will only be 3 feet above the ground. And then I've got a total of four stairs at the very top, with the one chin-up bar at the very top on the other side of the salmon ladder, so that when you get to the top you have somewhere to go and then drop down. That's going to be 10 feet above the ground. And that's it for the first part of the salmon ladder. We have it all built, we have it ready to go. The next video will show how we're going to clear the area where it's going to live. We're going to show how we're going to set this into the ground using some concrete and digging the holes. So the first thing I've got to do is clear the area, and I'll show you that in the next video. Until then, see you later.